Hello guys, what's going on? Mr. Banks here again, and in today's video let me walk you through how I was able to take this 1:8 risk reward trade using fair value gaps, liquidity sweep, and also picking my entry from my higher time frame point of interest. Let's get right into the video, guys.
Hello guys, Mr. Banks here, and welcome to my daily trade entry confirmations. So as you can see, Euro AUD has been one of my favorite pairs that I trade every single week if there is any trade entry for me. So let me walk you through how I was able to take this trade and catch up to 1:4 risk reward on this particular trade. So as you can see, from price action perspective, price has been in an uptrend, price breaking series of higher highs to the upside. So price came down here, broke above this side, came down, and we had a sweep of liquidity below here. Price pushed up, down, and broke above this very high here. So the moment I saw this break of structure, I realized this is a whole leg on its own. Previously, I had this high here, which was a daily buy side liquidity, which I knew price was actually coming to sweep this high and drop massively down. So what happened was, I think I and my team took these sales all the way from this side to the down here. But then as price comes down here, I knew there's going to be another push, but this was a correction, so we are going to have another impulse move again. So what I was waiting for is to pick my premium and discount from this swing low here all the way up to this swing high, for us to identify what our premium and discount levels. So basically, me marking this, I realized this whole range here is my discount level. So this is where I'm looking to take my buy entries from. So in my discount level, what I need to do is to identify my point of interest inside my discount level, and that's basically the down here where I identified this order block sitting right here, and also this very order block sitting down here. So I had 2 points of interest, this first order block here and this extreme order block here. But then when price got here, I did not actually get any kind of confirmation on this order block. So what I did was to ignore this order block and actually focus much on this 2-hour order block, or this 2-hour demand zone. Why? Because I found this demand zone to be very strong, because there's an inducement level here which forms as a sort of liquidity sitting right here, which I knew price would actually grab this liquidity, mitigate this demand zone or this order block before we actually take off to the upside. So I was actually waiting patiently for price to give me this sort of confirmation. And what happened? So when price did tap into our order block, I had to scale down to the 15-minute time frame to look for my entry confirmation. And as we all know, after price mitigates my higher time frame point of interest, if I'm looking for long positions, this is what I want to see. Price comes down, create this low, sweep liquidity to mitigate my higher time frame point of interest, give me an immediate market structure shift, pull back into my fair value gap or my either order block, mitigation block, then I'll take the trade all the way to the upside. So this has always been my daily entry confirmation strategy. So whenever price taps into my point of interest, this is what I want to see before taking any trade. And as you can see on the right, price did give me my confirmation. So price basically swept liquidity below this higher low, And after that, we had this immediate market structure shift. So either change of character or market structure shift. So now that my two entry confirmations are met, what do? I need to mark the relevant fair value gap right here to actually pick my entry from. So I have a fair value gap here, right, to pick my entry from. So as when price goes back into this fair value gap, I'll take my entry and target the structure highs as my take profit level. So this is basically what I was waiting for. So let me scale down to the 5-minute time frame to wait for my entry. And on the 5-minute time frame too, let's try to scrutinize this particular level so that we would find the accurate trade entry here. So in the 5-minute time frame, you could see clearly that price actually did came all the way down here, mitigate our order block, our 2-hour time frame order block, pushed up here, came down to sweep liquidity below these lows and gave us an immediate market structure shift. This is my favorite thing. This is always the favorite thing that I always want to see before I take my entry. We sweep liquidity, then we have an immediate market structure shift. After that, we mark our fair value gap sitting right here. And if we look on the right too, we could clearly see that price created this bearish fair value gap here. And price has actually violated this bearish fair value gap. So if you watch my other video that I made on fair value gaps, you would actually understand what an inversion fair value gap is. So if we mark this bearish fair value gap here, you could clearly see that right now we also have an inversion fair value gap sitting right inside our buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So now we have an inversion fair value gap also aligning with our bullish fair value gap here. So right now we have two confirmations to actually pick our entries. And at the same time too, we have this breaker block also sitting right here. So right now we have almost 3 confirmations to actually pick our entries. We have this our fair buy side imbalance, side inefficiency, which is basically our bullish fair value gap. Then we also have our inversion fair value gap here, and at the same time we also have our breaker block here. So let's see what price do next. So here we see price come down here, create this sort of liquidity here, which also gives me more confidence or more confirmation that price would actually come back to sweep this liquidity, mitigate our order block or mitigate our fair value gap or mitigate our point of interest, and finally take off. So this actually gave me more confidence in this particular trade. So here, as price was coming down, I still want to mark my premium and discount to here to make sure that my point of interest are still sitting inside this discount zone. So we mark premium and discount on the higher time frame to find our point of interest, and on the smaller time frame to mark premium and discount to also find our point of interest on our smaller time frame entry confirmation. So here you could clearly see that my point of interest, my fair value gap, my inversion fair value gap, my breaker block, they are all sitting inside my discount level. And if you watch closely here, you could see that this liquidity level, which was created right here, was formed around the consequent encroachment of this premium and discount too. That's exactly around 50% of this premium and discount too. So this means that price will definitely come to sweep this 50% level, mitigate our point of interest, then take off to the upside. So what I'm going to do right here is to pick my entry around this inversion fair value gap, set my stop loss right below this structure low here, And my first take profit is actually going to be this highs here, because this was the last high which actually created this low. So this was the last high which actually created this low here. So that's where my first take profit is going to be. And when I scale down to the higher, when I scale up to the higher time frame, my second take profit is actually going to be around this swing highs here, which is actually going to give me almost like 1:10 risk to reward. So my TP1 is right around here, or better still, my TP1 could actually be right above here. And my TP2, my final TP, is going to be right above here, because I can also see this higher time frame order block sitting right here, which price would actually react to. And it also has a nice fair value gap resting right below it. So this is the zone where price would actually react from. So that's where my take profit is actually going to be. So let's get down to the 5-minute time frame to see how price actually plays out. So here we see price came all the way down here, mitigated our entry, I think finally price came all the way down to mitigate our entry here. This right here, price did not mitigate our entry because price came and kissed our fair value gap and did not mitigate our entry. So here price finally came down to tap us inside our fair value gap and also our inversion fair value gap. So this is exactly where price tapped us in. And let's see how price plays out. So here we see price hitting our first take profit. So what do? We take partials, then we target our next take profit level. So here price finally hit our final take profit. So this was actually the zone I was actually talking about. So on the 2-hour time frame, we could clearly see this strong supply level sitting right here, which I knew price was actually going to react from. So we taking this entry, we need to find a very reasonable zone to pick our take profits, and that's basically here, which price give us almost 1:10 risk to reward. And our first take profit was about 1:3.5, 1:37 risk to reward. So guys, this was basically how I took my entry on Euro AUD. Peace guys.